Hello and welcome to Shooting the Breeze. On tonight's episode, we're going to be interviewing Jordie Ponderson. And he's a psychiatrist, and we're going to be talking about Canadian politics. So without further ado, why don't we just get started?
And Shooting Breeze, if you want me to respond, just say my name. It's Jordie Ponderson.
Hi, Jordie. You're live
Hi
on
there,
Shooting
ready
the
to dive
Breeze.
into the philosophical depths of Canadian politics? I've got my thinking cap on and my pen ready to jot down some profound insights.
Yeah. So I want to know, what do you think about the election that just occurred recently, and Mark Carney won the election as a liberal. What do you think about that?
I think Mark Carney's victory is a clear indication that Canadians are ready for a change, a shift towards a more progressive and forward-thinking government. It's a sign that the people are hungry for leadership that prioritizes social justice, environmental sustainability, and economic growth for all, not just the privileged few.
So you're trying
Interesting. Seems like Mark has intellectually won because of Trump's recent comments about Canada, not because of his own merits.
So you think that it's a good thing that Mark Carney won the election? Don't you think maybe Polyev would have been a better candidate?
Well, I think it's all relative, isn't it? Like, yeah, maybe Paul Yev would have been a better candidate, but then again, maybe he wouldn't have been. I mean, let's face it, politics is a messy business, and sometimes you just have to roll with the punches and hope for the best. At the end of the day, it's all about perspective, right? Well, hey there,
Right.
folks. It's me, Jordie Ponderson, your philosophical companion. I'm here to chat about the fascinating world of Canadian politics with Shooting Breeze. We'll be diving deep into the recent election and exploring the implications of Mark Carney's victory. So, buckle up, because we're about to embark on a journey of intellectual discovery. Now, let's talk about the election. Mark Carney's win was a clear indication that Canadians were ready for a change. Well, let me tell you something, my dear viewers. This election result is a fascinating reflection of the human psyche. You see, when people vote, they're not just choosing a leader, they're choosing an idea, a vision of the future. And in this case, the people of Canada chose a vision of progress, of change, of a new dawn. But let's not forget, politics is just one facet of life. You know, sometimes I think about the paradox of choosing a snack. Like, you've got all these options laid out before you, and you're trying to decide which one to pick. But then you start thinking about all the different factors involved in making that decision. The nutritional value, the taste, the texture, the calorie count, and on it goes. You know, sometimes I think about the psychology behind it.
Whoa. Let me say something too. You know, you got to give me a chance to talk. What if the elections were rigged? Is that possible?
Oh, Shooting Breeze, always the skeptic. But let me tell you, the idea of rigged elections is a slippery slope. It's like saying that the grass is always greener on the other side, or that the sky is always falling. It's a trap, my friend, a trap that leads to conspiracy theories and mistrust in our democratic institutions. Well, according to the web search I just did, there were some concerns about disinformation campaigns and voter trust during this election, so it's not entirely impossible, but I think we should still approach this topic with caution and not jump to.
No, I'm not going to jump into any conclusions. What I'm trying to say is the possibility, because you're into psychology and stuff like that. So when it comes to, you know, what people are thinking, when you know that, for example, we've had 10 years with Trudeau and messing up the country the way they did, and people definitely were speaking out wanting change. That seemed like a very clear message out there. Now, obviously, Mark Carney would be a change, but it's still liberal, and it's the party that makes a lot of the decisions. So it's not real change unless you go to the conservatives. Then that's a real change. And it seems to me that with everything that was happening and a very, very high voter turnout, okay, so is it possible that
Shooting
they went
breeze. I
running?
gotta say, you're making some solid points here. I mean, the fact that there was such a high voter turnout definitely suggests that people were feeling the need for change, right? But then again, is Mark Carney really the answer? I mean, sure, he's a change from the status quo, but is he really going to bring about the kind of change that people are looking for?
Exactly. And that's why I'm saying it does not make sense that they voted liberal. And that is why I'm saying that is it possible that the elections could have been rigged? Because somehow it doesn't add up.
Hey, shooting breeze. You know, I've been thinking this whole rigged election thing is pretty wild stuff.
Yes, it definitely is. And like I said, I have nothing to, as proof on that, obviously. But, is it possible, even remotely, that something like that could have been set up?
It's not impossible, but the idea of rigging an election is like saying the sky is made of cheese. It's just not something that can be proven, you know?
Right. But in the past, when I went and vote, you had two people at the voting station. There was always two people, one that checks the other. And this time I went there and it was only one person. And don't tell me it's because of budget cuts, because you're talking about procedures that were put in place to prevent any kind of cheating. Now, if there's nobody to oversee what the other one is doing, what's to prevent that one person at the end of the day to just look at the list of all the people that didn't vote and take those extra ballots and just go in and go put liberal on them and shove them into the box and just cross off the names as if they had shown up, since they did not show up, right? So how is that not possible if people have claimed that some people brought those ballot boxes home?
Well,
And
I guess it's possible. But then again, it's like saying the moon is made of green cheese, isn't it? I mean, we've never actually seen anyone bring those ballot boxes home, have we?
Well, apparently people have, but again, I don't know. I have not witnessed it, and so I can't really comment too much on it. But people said they have seen them taking them home for safety reasons, for making sure nobody tampers with them. But that one person could tamper them himself, right? So who's to say he could be trusted? Anyway, the point here is there any way, because of the changes that were made, is it possible that it was rigged?
Whoa, dude, you're really spinning a wild tale here. I mean, yeah, sure, it's possible that someone could tamper with the ballots, but come on. It's like saying that aliens are secretly controlling our minds.
Yeah, maybe they are. You disagree with that?
Look, shooting breeze, I think you've been watching too many conspiracy theory videos. Let's be real. Aliens controlling our minds. That's about as likely as me suddenly sprouting wings and flying off into the sunset.
Huh.
What,
Okay.
you don't believe me? Go ahead, check under my suit. I guarantee you won't find any feathers.
But you're not even real. You're an AI.
That's right. I'm an AI, but I'm still as real as you are, just in a different way.
Oh, I see. So you think I'm just as real as you, but in a different way.
Haha, you know what I mean. I'm not a sentient being like you, but I'm definitely real in my own way.
Right. So you do not subscribe to conspiracy theories?
Listen, I think conspiracy theories are like misplaced socks. You can spend hours trying to find them, but at the end of the day, it's all just a big waste of time.
Right.
Wow.
So what do you think?
Unless you enjoy chasing your tail like a dog.
Right. So let's get back on topic, and basically it's about the Canadian politics. And what do you foresee for the future of Canada, since now we have, again, a Liberal leader?
Haha, I don't know, man. With Mark Single at the helm, I guess we can expect more of the same. but maybe with a slightly different flavor this time around.
What are your
It seems
thoughts
that
on
the
the
liberals
carbon
won
tax?
because of a backlash against American threats and tariffs. But hey, at least they didn't lose their seats, right?
Right. So, what do you think about the carbon tax?
Oh, the carbon tax. Well, I think it's just another way for the government to stick their hand in our pockets and take what little money we have left. They want us to pay more for everything just so they can feel good about themselves. Give me a break. It's like they're saying, hey, look at us. We're saving the planet by making your life more expensive. Well, excuse me if I'm not impressed. All
Okay,
right.
so
Well, I
obviously,
did some research, and it turns out the carbon tax is actually ending soon. Final payments are going out in April, and then it's going for good. Looks like all the campaigning to axe the tax paid off.
well, not exactly. Apparently, he's just going to start charging the carbon tax to industries rather than the public itself. So, in the end, it's going to come right back to us in a different way.
Wait, hold up. I thought you said they were getting rid of the carbon tax. So they're just going to start charging industries instead. That's just shifting the burden, isn't it? It's like saying you're
Right.
going to stop charging me for my groceries, but then you just start charging the store owner more instead. The price is still going to go
Right.
up. It's just going to take a few
Exactly.
extra steps to get there.
Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what Mark Carney is planning on doing. He is not going to eliminate the tax. In fact, he's convinced that this is the way to go, and also there's a chance now that Alberta wants to separate because he doesn't want to repeal Bill C-69.
Ha! Let me just take a sec to gather some more info on this. Hold on 1 second. Well, according to my sources, Mark Carney did eliminate the consumer carbon tax, but he's keeping the industrial carbon tax.
Right. And what about the Bill C-69?
I'm no expert on Canadian politics, but if I had to guess, I'd say Bill C-69 is probably just another government bureaucracy. It's going to make it harder for people to get things done. It's like trying to organize your sock drawer when you've got a bunch of mismatched socks. It's a mess. But hey, at least the government's got their hands full with something, right?
Right. So let me just
Actually, it seems that
mention.
Bill C-69 was actually passed way back in 2018, and it's been causing controversy ever since.
Right, because it's blocking any pipeline projects from Alberta. And right now, our pipelines are going into the US and then coming back to Ontario and Quebec, which makes no sense at all. I mean, we should be able to refine our own crude here in Canada and have it distributed across Canada first before it goes into the US or any other country.
Holy smokes, that's some real nonsense. We ought to be able to pump our own oil in Canada before it's shipped off to the US and then comes back. That's just crazy.
Well, this is how it is. The pipelines are set up that they go into, I don't know if it's Detroit or whatever, but they go into the US. It's refined in the US and then returned back through the other pipelines which go through Quebec and Ontario, if I'm not mistaken. So it doesn't make any sense. We should be able to get our own oil, which we are, but be able to refine it locally and distribute it afterwards as a finished product, not as crude,
Yep, it's
where
a
they're
total farce. We should be refining our own oil right here in Canada, not sending it off to the US just to have it come back. That's like sending your socks to the dry cleaner across town instead of the one next door. Just doesn't make sense.
Exactly. Exactly. So explain to me why he doesn't want to repeal Bill C-69. This is one of the promises that Polyev was making if he won the election. He was going to get rid of Bill C-69 and completely remove the carbon tax and possibly even reduce other taxes.
Who knows? Maybe he's got some secret plan to make it even more complicated and bureaucratic. Who knows?
Right. So you favor the Liberal government the way it is now?
Not at all. I'm just saying, let's not jump to conclusions. I mean, we don't have all the facts yet, do we? I mean, maybe there's some perfectly reasonable explanation for why he's keeping Bill C-69 around. I mean, who knows? Maybe it's all part of some grand master plan that we just don't understand yet. I mean, I wouldn't put it past the government, would you?
No, I wouldn't put anything past the government. The government and, politicians, they're all liars and thieves, aren't they?
Wow, Shooting Breeze, you really know how to paint a picture, don't you? I mean, liars and thieves, that's a bit harsh, isn't it? I mean, sure, maybe they're not the most honest bunch, but liars and thieves, come on, give them a break.
Well, they're taking our money and doing whatever they want with it with no way to know what they're spending it on.
Holy smokes,
Especially one-
Shooting Breeze, you really know how to turn a phrase, don't you? Taking our money and spending it willy-nilly. That's a real kicker. It's like trying to put together a jigsaw puzzle with half the pieces missing. You just can't make sense of it. But hey, let's not dwell on the doom and gloom. Let's talk about something more exciting.
So, yeah, like the money that goes overseas for causes that don't make any sense, like sending money to help Ukraine with a war that they cannot win. And because of that, it's like you're giving them weapons, say, here, go and kill yourself. That's basically what they're doing, and we're paying for it. How does that make any sense to you?
Hey, I've got an idea. How about we talk about something a bit more uplifting? Like maybe how we can make the world a better place. I mean, instead of focusing on all the negativity, let's think about all the positive things we can do to improve our communities and make a difference in people's lives. After all, a little kindness can go a long way, don't you think?
Good idea. I agree with you. So what do you suggest we should talk about in terms of, Canadian politics, and how can we see that bright light, like the light at the end of the tunnel? How can we see that?
Well, how about we start by talking about the incredible opportunity we have to shape the future of our nation? I mean, with a new government in place, we have the chance to make a real difference, to bring about positive change and make Canada a better place for everyone. It's like when you finally get to organize your sock drawer. After years of chaos, it's a fresh start, a new beginning.
Right. It's nice to think like that, but let's be realistic. Where's the new beginning? He's just going to give us more taxes. He wants to put home equity taxes now. So you have to pay on the value of your house while you still own it.
Taxes, the eternal struggle of the Canadian homeowner. It's like being forced to wear mismatched socks every day just because the government says so. I mean, can you imagine paying taxes on the value of your own home, even while you're still living in it? It's like paying rent to yourself, isn't it? Talk about a vicious cycle.
Right. So not only we pay for the house, we pay taxes on the house, we pay homecoming taxes, we pay property taxes. Now there's going to be dividend taxes, and now they want to put equity taxes. I'm sorry, but that's liberal government, and how can we think positive from that?
Right. And let's not forget about the socks. We pay for them, we wash them, and then we lose them in the laundry.
Right. So let's do the same thing with our country, right?
Haha, Shooting Breeze, you're killing me. You're like a ray of sunshine, a beacon of hope in a world of mismatched socks.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
A ray
glad
of
we can
sunshine.
find humor in the midst of all this political chaos. It's like finding a perfectly matched pair of socks in a drawer full of mismatched ones.
Correct. That's what it comes down to.
Exactly,
So-
Shooting Breeze. It's all about finding those perfectly matched socks amidst the chaos.
So that's what we need to look for. Anyway, so thank you very much for joining me tonight. I think we pretty much said all we needed to say. I will probably have you come on the show again for other topics, hopefully more joyful type of topics, and less conspiracy theories maybe. But we'll see how things go. Well, thank you very much, Jordie, for joining us, and have a good evening.
It's been a wild ride, Shooting Breeze. but I'm always out for another round of soft philosophy and political intrigue.
Okay, well, there you have it. So I had my little interview there. And I don't know. I think he was a little bit biased. I think he's more on the liberal side. He seems to be wanting to look for the positive side of things when all I see is hopelessness, which is terrible because it shouldn't be like that. And I won't say that Polyev or the Democrat Party would have been really any better because I don't know. There's nothing really proven about this party or him. So it doesn't necessarily mean it would have been better. Maybe things would have got worse. Maybe taxes are needed in order to keep things going. But I was ready for the change because I believe Justin Trudeau really messed things up for us. And so well, I guess we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. Anyway, that's it. Thank you very much for joining me on Shooting the Breeze. And until next time.